All right, update. So this is where I am. I had some Carbon Easy mirror block offs on here as well. At first I thought something was wrong with the block offs, but in actuality it's not. I got Brocs on here, and as you can see, depending on the way you sit it, this still moves around. And I think it's because of the lightweight fairing stay. I mean, it's carbon fiber, so you know, there's some movement. You can move it, as you can see. But I think if you're for a race bike, I mean, nothing is ever perfect, but we'll see. I have mostly everything buttoned up at the moment. The only issue I ran into was my carbon fiber tank with the fuel cell in it. I got the fuel cell back today. It's made by JL Design, and JL has been busy or incognito. It won't answer any messages from many people. So I did do a test fit on it earlier. The tank's right over here. I did test fit it earlier, and the problem that I'm gonna run into is, one, this kind of sits well below the tank, but I think I may be able to squeeze it. But then these screws don't align properly, so more than likely I'm gonna probably have to drill into this and then tap it and then make the screws or the pump fit. So all in all, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully it's not a thing, or hopefully it doesn't leak, because I gotta change the way that the bolts fit. And it's really primarily for this piece here, the metal piece that holds the pump in. So all in all, the other fabricators, it still kind of sits right here against the fuel lines, but I don't think that it's pinching it, so hopefully it'll be fine. So I'll get to work, see if I can align these holes and make the pump work, and then realistically, after I get my Vortex sprocket in, the bike should be okay. Like, it should be done. Well, not done, because, you know, but done enough for me to ride it. The only downside is you know, the tail has some movement, just a little bit. Not, I don't like it, but it doesn't have the cutouts in the recess for the screws to go right here. So I couldn't really figure out, and I didn't want to drill holes all through here trying to figure out where this bracket is. So I have the bracket on here so the tail will sit kind of on it. I could show the brake light though. So you saw when I did what I did install the brake light, and that's the way it looks. And then I have to go back and plug in the front up here, because the lights are not on up here. But once I get all that done, I guess I'll come back and this bike will be almost complete, hopefully. Still got to hook the nitro stuff up. So yeah, but almost there though, almost there. So in great fashion, because aftermarket stuff never lines itself up, this is the JL Design fuel cell. It's heavy, but I got it modified. Still kind of heavy, but I mean, I don't know. If I can get the pump to work, I know this is kind of ghetto rig, but I need this to kind of stay here so I can drill the holes and then tap it to make this work. I did have to take off this. Most people don't have the fuel level mechanism in like fuel cells and all of this, so it's whatever. It's like I said, it's a borderline race bike. What I am going to do though is, if I can get this to work, then what I'm going to do is get another fuel pump, and then I'm going to put the pump in the normal tank, so that way I can just kind of swap both of them whenever I feel like it. The reality is though, I'm probably not going to do that, because why? The bike's barely moved, so this should be enough to go to bike nights and stuff, and then make passes and pulls and all of that. So that's what I'm about to do, and let's see if I can make it work. Okay, so looks like I'm gonna just use the OEM tank. This was actually heavier, but I was going for the carbon fiber look. But the JL design, I got everything to work, but it's just the way that it's made. It's just not working itself out. So, and it's honestly, I've spent about $400 to $500 continuously getting this thing modified to work, and it looks like I'm gonna just keep on modifying. It's starting to be a waste of money. So I'm gonna go back to the OEM tank and then call it a day. But at least I know that fits and there's no problems. JL design does make some good stuff. It's just this particular situation, not so good. But learning lesson, there's carbon fiber stuff out there. So I'm gonna order one of those, wait for that to get here, and then I'll probably install that. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. So aftermarket, some of these vendors and manufacturers, man, this shit is just, I don't know what, like how they test stuff, like fitment and all of this, but like to me, you know, I buy stuff knowing that I'm gonna have to like make things work. But when you start having to spend large amounts of money and trying, and it's just too much work. So thank you, JL Design, for this marvelous work that you did. My Gen 3 stuff was okay. I mean, I had to modify that to get it to work too, but I mean, at least it works. This is, yeah. So, back to the stock tank for now.
Correct.
All right, so my boy is in there. He's gonna be in the background arguing with somebody. But I got the black tank on, the OEM, and it doesn't look that bad. Based upon the weight, the pound or two difference with the fuel cell stuff that I had before, I would have rather that because of the look, but at least I know the OEM stuff does work, and it looks good. So far with the ABS block off, I got the Alpha Racing stuff in, so I just did that real quick, and it doesn't seem like anything on my dash is suffering. So there's no drama on the dash. The lights do work so far, and when I flip the nitrous switch, everything cuts on as it should. So looks like all I gotta do is put the seat on, and I'm still waiting on the rear sprocket for this. I still gotta put the nitrous bottle on. You can see the lines and stuff are hanging. The nitrous bottle's inside, but ultimately, until I figure out if I'm getting that carbon or not, which I'm almost 100% that I am going to get it, at least for my other bike, it's just going to be like this. And I think for what it is, it doesn't look that bad. So that's what I got. And so far, like I said, it's got to be 20 pounds or more that I've taken off this bike. Now the downside is, if this was an all motor bike, this would be great, but I still have whatever amount of nitrous nonsense that's on here, and it's a lot of wires and controllers and everything else. So all right, so it's almost finished. My partner doesn't like this seat.
Nope.
But it's more comfortable for the street, so as bars I just rhyme.
Look, this seat look like somebody that owned an old 1911. Look at this, man.
So the nitrous is hooked back up on the opposite side. I think the seat does look funny, but he'll be all right. So this is almost finished. I just put some more oil in it, and next thing is I'm just waiting for my gearing to come in to do something with the chain, potentially, because now I'm over it. All right, so almost finished with the bike. I added my Reaper decals. I think I got a slight oil leak from the DME oil pan, and it's crazy because the DME oil pans, I have two of them, one on this bike, one on the stroker bike, both leak from the drain plug. So don't know why. Normally what I do is just put some like gasket maker around there. It gets hardened and then it seals it. It's just a pain in the ass every time you want to change the oil. You gotta clean all the stuff up, and then change the oil. So at any rate, the bike is pretty much done, ready for a retune. And I know the camera probably doesn't do it justice because I'm in this dark garage. However, I'm gonna pull it out in the sunlight because it's sunny outside after I check on this slight leak from the drain plug. Okay, so now it's time for me to roll this thing outside and see how shiny and pretty it looks. I guess quickly, weight savings, I'll just go over it. So really quickly, rear set heel guards are gone. There was no need for me to keep this one because this Montgomery Motorsport chain guard is so long. It's all the way over here. So why would I have to have a heel guard when it's already covering the chain? So that was just an extra weight thing that I took off. This cover, took it off, replaced the original bolts with some aluminum bolts. And while I'm on it, a lot of people want to replace bolts and stuff with titanium. I'll tell you, aluminum bolts or the BMW bolts are, in most cases, especially for fairings and some of the smaller bolts, they are just as light, if not lighter. So don't spend all your money on titanium because you probably don't need it. Continuing to go through the bike. So I can save another pound or two with another shock. I have a shock on my other bike over there, the actual stroker bike, but and it weighs like, even with the reservoir, like at least a pound less than the OEM shock. I think in the past I made a video weighing everything and then I took it down. Another way you can save weight, this Evil Arm has under bracing, but if you get the under bracing off, if you don't want to run a chain guard, I don't do that type stuff because of safety and reliability. Well, really more safety. They got these new adjusters that have less holes and all of this, whatever. And then of course you got some titanium stuff that you can put back here. What else? I do have titanium bolts in the frame here, but I have them for the other bike for like everything. What else? Up front, you know, the rotor, the caliper. I have the brake delete stuff so I can run my strap. Realistically, you can lower the bike, probably wouldn't need straps, but then, you know, the suspension rebounds and does all of that stuff. While I'm on it, I can also say that these forks, the DDC or DTC, these forks are heavier than the other forks. So like for instance, the other bike has forks without the electronic stuff on it, and those forks have been cut. So that is max weight reduction. The bodywork overall, obviously carbon fiber. Some say, oh, it doesn't weigh less. No, I've tested the theory several occasions, watched my videos. In most cases, the carbon fiber, depending on manufacturer, does weigh less. Some manufacturers like to add all this extra weight because they're trying to make it more sturdy and reliable. But in most cases, like this Limburger, it is less than the OEM stuff. The other way that I save weight is my wife is 4'11". This is technically her bike. So the bottom of this expensive belly pan is gone. So all I have up front is an aluminum bar holding it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. Another way to save weight, like I showed in the video, tires. These tires weigh less than what was on the bike before. If you care enough, look at tires. What else? The exhaust. This alien head has been on this bike for years. Look way back in my videos. The initial build was there, but I think the alien head versus the Pentacarbon versus the CT Mag, it's gotta be what, up to 2 pounds difference. So, I mean, if you care enough, if you like me and you got a alien head years ago and now you want the lightest thing and you're worried about that pound or two, then yeah, there's lighter exhaust out there. I took off the brake mechanism here and all of the lines and all of this other stuff like you saw earlier. It depends on the way I break this video up, but all of the ABS stuff on the bike is gone. That was worth several pounds over with both calipers. This Leaf brake delete, as expensive as it is, you're gonna have to fight putting this thing on if you have HP wheels. I think this was made for cast wheels or what did he say, like the normal OEM carbon fiber wheels or something to that effect. So if you get into a situation where you have cast wheels or carbon wheels versus the HP wheels are thicker or larger or something like that. So this was, I mean, you can make it fit, like, I mean, it's gonna, you gotta put it at an angle and kind of shove it in there. A lot of grease. But as you can see, rear brake delete, worth several pounds. Tire, all of this back here. Add some titanium and all of this, and then, you know, ounces add up to pounds, so you got it. What else? Obviously, if you didn't have this thing on here, but whatever. This is a 525 chain versus a 520 kit. So if you had a 520 kit, I weighed a 520 versus a 525 versus a 530. In most cases, the 520 to 530 is worth at least a pound. I know it's crazy. That's chain alone. Chain, same length, same everything. On my scale was at least a pound, with the 530 being upwards of 2 to 3 pounds heavier than the 520. It just depends on the links. 150 link, 120 link, it just depends on the bike or the length of the chain. What else? Subframe. So this is a tight tail subframe. The only problem is this Carbon Easy tail is very nice. We got some movement here though. I don't think it's enough to do any damage. I was going to go from the bottom or try to drill holes for the bracket that's up top, but I don't think it's needed, at least for now. I'll monitor and see if there's any issues. Plus, I've been talking to Carbon Easy, and I don't know if I'm going to just send a subframe over there from my stroker bike since it's not wired up yet, and let him make something where they have the recesses for, like the bolts for a subframe or not. This tail was made for the OEM subframe. But at any rate, I think I made video of how much this weighs versus how much the OEM tail, well, the carbon tail that I had on here before, which was technically lighter than the OEM weighed. So that's several pounds as it is. The tank, take it for what it's worth. I weighed that. I think my fuel cell and carbon tank, my carbon tank when I initially got it with no fuel cell and all of that from JL Design, which that didn't work out, is over there in the trash, as you can see. That's over $1,000 between, well, actually between the tank and this nonsense and all the drama I've been through with a carbon fiber tank. That's well over $4,000. Actually pushing $5,000 of just nonsense, of leaking and other nonsense. So I digress though. So the tank is worth, if you go to MotorFix, the tank is worth a couple of, I think is 1 point something kgs, but you know, a pound or two. You got to work it out. I'm a dealer. Holla at me if you need it. So right now I wanted this to be carbon. I'm still entertaining the thought of turning this into carbon. I don't know, since this is not a full-fledged race bike and it's more of a street bike that my wife and I will share. I'm just doing this to play with it. So we'll see. But it's worth some pounds. This setup right here was like, what was it, like a little over a pound or something like that? I mean, it's not even worth it. Got some carbon fiber stuff here. The biggest thing though is, and then there's a little gap right here with the Carbon Easy stuff, but he's revising some of this stuff. I've been talking with him, so some of this stuff is being revised, and then he's gonna come out with the latest and greatest, and hopefully I'll get a set to show y'all what he fixed. So overall, even though I have at least, if the nitrous stuff was not on this bike, you know, because as you can see, I got little screens and nitrous. I mean, there's wires. If you looked at the video, there's wires all over the place hidden through this bike. If I did not have the nitrous, just like on my Stroker Booster that's weighed to be tuned, nitrous weighs a lot. So that's the only thing that sucks. It really does weigh a lot. By the time you get everything on it, it weighs a lot. So, but I reached my goal, because I don't even have to weigh all of this, but I did reach my goal. With everything in this box, I am at 20 plus pounds of weight savings. So, myself, I'm heavy, so it doesn't matter what the hell I saved, but my wife, her 4'11" behind, will be happy at this, because hopefully this will be a big change from what she's used to. So I'll pull it off the lift, push it outside, and last but not least, all these gauges and stuff, like all of this is weight too, but who cares? Now, other places you can save weight. I was almost into the video, but I gotta say it. So the triple tree, the stem, the lower triple tree, clip-ons, you know, they got the carbon fiber stuff, woodcraft, vortex, whatever. Like, there's other things on this bike that can save you more weight. Outside of that, I think that's pretty much it. Now, this bike has motor work. I took this bike, if you look at one of my previous videos, I took this bike to New Jersey to learn dyno tuning, and that's where I found out that I was missing a good like 20 to 30 horsepower mid-range. How the hell is that possible versus a stock bike? Well, big head, big cams, but I don't have the bottom end to push it. So while this pulls through redline, it has a lot of power up top, but getting up top is my issue. So I'm gonna have to not necessarily figure it out. It is what it is. But I do know going into a battle that I'm probably at a disadvantage. But I didn't care because, you know, I have a stroker over there that's waiting. And then if I really, really give a damn about it, I'll just drop this motor and then all I gotta do is put the bottom end together and it's fine. But this is really technically like a head and cam bike. All right, let's see how she looks in the sunlight. Be back. Well, let's see what the final product looks like. Let's go. All right, the BMW is over there, waiting for wife to come home and try it. But what do we have here? Weight reduction and roll race build. And we are starting off by pulling that rear tire in. Follow the build, or builds, or however you want to put it. So something came in the mail. I'm waiting on the other one, but I had to share it because although I got them before, I'm still gonna share it. Because y'all gotta watch the channel to see what this is going on. All right, I'm gonna set it up. All right, first things first. I've been getting Q5s, but brand new track day tire by Pirelli. Very sticky. I've ridden with these things on my H2 and they hook. I don't know if it's a secret or not, but everybody goes for the Q5. Maybe it's because they're lighter. I don't know. But I'm not really caring about something that's light and what this is going on. And these arrived. Well, one of them. Check it out. Brand new. Carbon fiber wheels. And I mean, it's light. So, follow the channel because what this is going on is supposed to be an 800 to 1,000 horsepower build. You know how I am. Gotta have power. More power.